Okay. The second part here of our name tags working with Photoshop. First thing, if you have not already, you need to have some images saved up that you want to put on it. So you could do that on whatever browser. Okay, so if you need to open up another tab here on Chrome and look up anything that you like. So I like hiking. I could look up hiking boots. I like clip art. You don't have to do clip art. You could do a real image of hiking boots, but I like this little kind of cutesy look. So whatever image you want, find it, pick it out that you want to save. Click on it. Then you're going to right click, save image as. Make sure the extension is a JPEG. If it's not a JPEG, it's not going to work. Okay, JPEG means photo. You can name it something. Boot image. For this, you could save it to your digital design photo in OneDrive or your student drive, but this is a pretty quick, small project. So if you just want to save it into the downloads or quick access, that's totally fine. You can see I have some of my images saved up here. Either way, for the big projects coming up, make sure you're saving things into your OneDrive digital design folder or down here, wherever you put that digital design folder, okay? But for this will be okay to just kind of save that guy in here. All right, click save it for us. So get a couple different images that you feel like kind of describe you. Show you mine in here. Make them big so you can see. Just save these boots, okay? Not using this, but that one's cute, right? Have this other hiking photo, boots. I like Legos here. So save different photos that you want to incorporate. Can be anything you want. You could do plants, you could do whatever, okay? Save them. Now, we're going to hop on Photoshop, okay? So you need to open up that Rainbow app on your desktop. Get into Photoshop, hit open, make sure it's up to date. Open. I already have mine open here. Click back up. So we'll open up to this home page. Yours might pop up saying, hey, this is new. Just go ahead and exit out of that, okay? These different tutorials will pop up. You can see all my recent things down here, my images that I uploaded. You will probably have nothing down here because you haven't done anything yet, okay? What we need to do is you've saved your name tag, right, with nothing on it. You saved it from Illustrator as a JPEG. So we're going to open that up. What you do is you go to open, find it wherever it may be, click open, and it will open up here, okay? In the future, when we start working in Photoshop, you may need to make a new file, just like that artboard, remember? So it pops up the same as it does on Illustrator. Click print. We would go over here, title it. Whoops. Okay, close enough. Make sure you're in inches. This is good for now. You would change the resolution here to 360. This is good. You want it to be RGB. This is good. You could change the background color, totally up to you. Some people want it to just be white. You can click in here and change it to anything you would like. Again, customize it. Some people, they have different, you can do transparent if you're just wanting to overlay something. Most people work on white, I think just because they're used to the Illustrator artboard here, and then hit create, okay? But for now, we just need to get our name tag. So open, find your name tag here, open that baby up. So now we need to get our images open that we have saved. So we need to go up to File on the top left, hit Open. We're gonna go look for our images wherever you save them. Let's see. Want this one? I'm gonna click in this little square here so I can get a bunch. If they're all next to each other, you could click and drag. Grab these two just for funsies. Okay. Get all your images. Hit open. You can see they're all opening up here, which is perfect. It's kind of hard to see our first tab that we have. That is our artboard, not our artboard, our name tag. Okay. So you may have to kind of arrow over to get to whatever you need to get to. You won't always have this much open, or you'll open one, put it where you need to put it, get some others open, but it will open up a lot, okay? And it can get a little bit messy up here. So right now, the background is locked. We don't want that to be locked, okay? We want it open here. We have a couple different tools. We'll go over more of them here in a second, but I'm gonna show you how to quickly move an image over and place it on here. So let's get these boots here. Show you. So we have our lasso tool. If you right click on it, there's a couple different options here. The first one, click, and you can start outlining things. It's not perfect. You just grab something really quickly, and then you're gonna kind of touch where you started and let go. And it makes this little line here. This guy right here is like your black cursor on Illustrator. It's your safety net, okay? So we'll click on that, and we can click on what we just outlined, drag it around and move it. You'll notice though that it didn't get everything. It's just a really quick, easy way to outline. I'm gonna Control Z to undo it. Control D gets rid of that weird line here. Go back to my lasso tool. Up here we have different settings. It looks kind of blurry around the edge, right? That is the feather. That just means making it blurry, basically. So if you want it to be less blurry, make that feather a little bit smaller. Okay, so then we can use that lasso tool. Now we'll move it. See, it's less blurry around the edge now. It's more of a solid straight line. So it's up to you. It will make more sense whenever we start on our first project if you want things to be blurry or not. A good way to grab something quick like this, especially because it has a white background, Photoshop is good at reading, trying to pick up different highlights, lowlights, colors. So you can go back to that lasso tool. This one makes a polygon shape, so it will draw out specific lines. I don't use it a lot unless I want some sort of really straight geometric shape. The magnetic lasso tool is really nice. I'll show you here. So if I click on the edge, I slowly start to go. I'm just clicking and dragging. It's laying things around where I'm dragging, trying to pick up where it thinks that I want it based on colors, highlights, and lowlights. So it's like a magnet, hence the name there. Just very easily going around and around. Up. Okay, I'm gonna go a little quicker. You can see the faster you move, the less accurate it gets. But same thing here. You can see the weird little line going around it. And go back to this white cursor. You can click and drag it. And it has a pretty good outline of it. I've missed a little chunk of it, but it's more accurate, right? Another good way to quickly move something is right below our lasso tool. Now it's the magnetic lasso tool, is the quick selection tool. Okay. Click on that. You're going to click and start just moving it around, and it will fill in what it thinks that you want. Look at how quick that was. Grabbing that white cursor. Wow, I have the whole shoe. It's like magic, right? So clicking and holding it, I'm going to drag this shoe up, my cursor, hold it into this layer, bring it back down. You can't see the shoe, but then you let go, and it appears, right? So I can place this guy on here wherever I want. Put there. You need to make sure you hit enter on your keyboard, or sometimes a white check appears up here. That's just locking it into place. So I'm going to hit enter. There we go. Okay. So now it's on here. That way, if I toggle back and forth, it stays there. Sometimes if you don't hit enter and you click off and then you come back, it's not there anymore, which can kind of be frustrating. So it already creates its own new layer for everything you add, which is important to note. Photoshop is very, very frustrating. where you're not sometimes working on the correct layer, it gets annoying very quickly. So keep that in mind. Don't forget about your white kind of safety cursor here. So we can move over more of these. Notice I've kept on that same white background. That way I can make a quick selection and quickly get my Lego guy. Very fancy. Grab my white cursor. Move him, drop him. There he is. Let's see if he disappears if I toggle off. Nope, he stayed. Okay. So that's a really nice way to kind of just quickly grab things, move them over, is that quick selection tool. It shows you. It's nice if you hover over some of the tools because it will show you literally what it does. Look at it. Nice. Okay. Grab this one. See how it comes up though? It just grabbed all this white area. Sometimes it will not be perfect, which can be really frustrating. So you'll need to kind of choose what tool you want. Maybe this will work better. It's just because these white clouds hit that white background, so it's not working out as perfectly as I had hoped. So I could get it and then take it. Let me show you. Let's grab. Let's just grab the lasso tool. So let's say I really want this image and it's frustrating me that it keeps grabbing this white edge because of my clouds. Let's just take the whole thing. This. Drop that there. So now I have all this excess, which is fine. Click it. Drag it over. Drag it onto here. Actually, it doesn't look like too bad to me. But we can get rid of it. Don't forget your spacebar is handy dandy to zoom or to drag around, and then Control minus, Control plus zooms in and out. So let's say we wanted to get rid of some of this, right? So we have this. I'm gonna make sure I'm on the layer with these people. If I'm down here, it's not gonna work. So I'm on my layer 3, selecting this area. I can erase this stuff, which is super helpful. I'll show you that. Okay, so this guy right here, it kind of looks like a little eraser and has a smudge. Get that. Again, you can adjust some things up here. This guy has the size. We can make it really big, really small. Hardness is similar to feather. So if I make it harder, it has less of that fuzzy edge. If I make it less hard, it has more of that fuzzy edge. I could do something kind of in between here. Make it a little bit bigger. And make it a little smaller. A little more. Okay, how about that? If I could go in and physically erase, get a little bit closer in here. Which is not an exact science, but that is an option. Okay. Another thing we can do, if you hate what it's starting to look like this edge, I feel like is kind of wonky looking. There's a smudge tool, which is kind of meh. It literally does what it sounds like. It smudges. So you can see how I'm quickly smudging all over and it's just making a mess. This is better to do if it's kind of a softer line. So you can tell it's a little bit softer here. You can also just click on places you need it to be. Same thing with the blur tool. You can make it a lot bigger up here. Kind of click to kind of blur that edge out so it fades into the background. Rid of some of that. But can go through and erase all these like little crappy edges you get down in there. We could also go back through with our different tools here, like my quick selection tool. Could take down here and get rid of some of that, right? And I hit backspace and it goes away. Control D to get rid of that weird line. And then I could go back in and erase this line here. Same thing over here. Can't take, oh, but see it jumps over. Frustrating. You take out little sections, try to clean it up. So there are different ways to kind of mess with it to get rid of things. It is easier if you have a clean, crisp background, but it's not impossible. You could also just do like a different wonky shape around here if you wanted to bring it over. Let's see what else I can tell you. We won't go over this one for now. Crop tool, exactly what it sounds like, and we will use it a lot to kind of crop an image down. Let me zoom out here. So I can crop, like if we had extra stuff over here I didn't need, crop tool, and click and drag, bring that guy in. Oop. It won't let me hit the check mark because my zoom. Enter. It crops all that in. Pretty simple. I'll show you this one when we start our first project. Same with this guy. Clone stamp could be useful. It's literally stealing a color. I'll show you the little image here. Stealing a color or a part of an image and putting it somewhere else. See, they just added another cherry on there. Crazy, right? This is good to kind of fix things up. Like, let's say I had a little blemish here. Let's say I don't want this anymore, okay? Let me make this a little bit bigger. Perfect. So what I'm going to do, make sure I'm on the right layer here. I'm going to hit Alt. Notice how my cursor changes whenever I hit Alt. I'm going to click on that area. I'm stealing that area's color. So I'm stealing the pink. But keep in mind, I just clicked in here, right here. So what I'm doing is stealing, but as I steal, see it's pink. Let's say I start down here. As I'm moving my cursor, Photoshop is picking up in that same direction I stole from. So eventually you will hit some of these other colors. Let me show you really quick. So see, it starts to recreate this weird star shape I have because I picked up the color from here. I started pulling over and it would eventually hit this guy, right? So you might have to work in small sections, but it's really good at kind of getting rid of things. See, it's grabbing up here. Let's zoom in. It's really good at kind of making things look a little bit more realistic. So I'm always clicking Alt, getting rid of things, clicking Alt, getting rid of things, clicking Alt, getting rid of things, Alt, getting rid of it, Alt, getting rid of it. Boom, he's gone now. So that could be useful. You're gonna probably use that guy a lot on our first project, but it also can be good here. So I could go into, right, and clean some of that up with my Alt tool. Alt, steal, clean it. Oh, it's because remember that you need to work on the correct layer. There we go. Which you will learn very quickly to be frustrating. Now it's stealing this. We come back in, make that again. It's a whole big mess. Okay. Other tools that you can use for your name tag here, eraser. You need to get rid of something, erase it, get rid of it. We won't get into that too much. Remember smudge tools here. This just makes your image a little bit sharper. So maybe you want to make the Lego man. Let me make this bigger so you can see. Maybe you want to make him a little bit sharper. The more you go over something, the more kind of distorted it's going to get. Oh, I'm not on him. Again, make sure you're on the right layer. So I'm going over my Lego man over and over and over and over and over and over again. You can see he's starting to get distorted, kind of weird, right? Don't over sharpen something. It could work for our first project. I had someone do it last semester and it looked really cool. Kind of looks cool right here. But sometimes you don't want to do it too much, right? Because it looks a little weird. We talked about blur tool here. Dodging and burning, you're going to use a lot for our first project. It's just making things lighter. So the dodge tool is adding highlights. Burn tool is adding lowlights. It's really helpful for certain things. Type tool, if you forgot to add text or you want to add text somewhere, just like on Illustrator. And then we also have a shape tool here. You can make custom shapes too, which is really fun. Those are the things that you're going to be using for your name tag. The biggest one you're going to use probably is this quick selection tool or the magnetic lasso tool here. And then either clone stamping or erasing and dragging those things in and over to this page. We'll get into this more later too. You also have a properties panel. We'll talk about adjustments later too. For now, this is all you need to know, okay? Let me know if you have questions. Hopefully this makes sense.